Hello, Thrivers. Heather here, and we are on day number 17 of our Better Me, Better Marriage Challenge. So we have today and tomorrow, and that's it. We have done all 18 days of our challenge. How has it been for you? How have you grown or learned? Have you become more aware of victim mentality versus choosing to have peace instead? Are you recognizing that your happiness, your joy, your sense of peace only comes from within you? I really hope so. I know that it's been that for me. So check in and let me know how you are doing with the challenge and how it's making a difference for you. Now, I want to share an experience that Ben had last week. He is a flight instructor for the Air Force. So he's not military, but he is contracted with the military, and he teaches Air Force cadets how to fly. And last week, he had a very shaking kind of experience. I mean, every day he says he saves his own life, right? It's his job is to save his own life. And so this man has like nerves of steel, right? Every day he gets up with brand new pilots, have never flown before, and he literally has to save his own life every single day. That's his job. And he's amazing. He does incredibly well with it. It's not uncommon for us to watch shows like Air Disasters, where you see the pilots make really bad decisions or there's a malfunction in the aircraft, and watch them have to like navigate that circumstance and overcome the air disasters. And it's not a great show for me as a wife because I get really scared because all I see is like all the really bad things that happen. So all of that giving some perspective here to that my husband has like nerves of steel, right? So for him to get shaken up about something is really stood out to me, right? And so he was in a training, and his flight commander put on a video, and it was actual real footage taken from a camcorder of a former flight instructor that used to teach for the Air Force. And he had taken up his friend, who is deathly afraid of flying, deathly afraid of heights, took him up flying in an aircraft that they rented. I don't remember the name of the aircraft. Ben was here, he'd give you all the numbers, and they talk in their own different language, right? Just like doctors and everything. But so they took up this aircraft, and his buddy, his friend, is like so scared. He's like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And he's like, don't worry, his friend, I've been doing this for years. We're totally safe. We totally got this. So they go up to about 10,000 feet, and the pilot puts the aircraft into a spin. I've never been in a spin. It doesn't sound like a fun thing to do. Ben loves them. He does them every day. You put it in the aircraft in a spin, so it's starting to spin down toward the ground, and then you recover out of it, and that's spin training. Why this pilot chose to take his buddy up on the first flight when the guy is terrified of flying and put it into a spin is beyond me, but they put it into a spin. So they're starting to spin. The pilot starts to do his maneuvers, and he cannot recover the spin. And this is actual footage that Ben is watching. And they start to spin, and they're spinning, and they're spinning, and he cannot pull out of the spin. So they're plummeting to the earth, and the pilot starts freaking out. He's like, I can't fix this. And you can actually hear them talking. And the friend that was terrified of flying is like, we're going to die. Like, we're going to die. And he just starts like saying a prayer to God, and he's like, bless my family, bless them to know I love them. And all the while they're spinning down to the earth. And the actual footage, you can see the ground getting closer and closer and closer. I don't watch these kind of things. Ben does, but this one shook him up because it was a real pilot, someone that used to work where he works right now, a very experienced pilot, and he cannot recover out of the spin. So they are spinning down to the ground, and both of them are just in prayer and in saying, bless my family, bless them to know I love them. And they're literally like expecting to die. They hit a tree and they crash, and the footage kind of goes out for a little bit, and then it's like shaking. I didn't actually see it. I'm telling you from Ben's retelling to me. And then we didn't die. We didn't die. We're alive. They walked out with nothing but a couple cuts and a couple bruises. No broken bones, nothing. They literally fell from 10,000 feet to the ground with nothing to stop them. They hit a tree and they hit some soft patch of dirt. Well, do you think God answered their prayers? Right? That's like bedside repentance, right? Or spinning down to the earth kind of repentance, pleading to God to save them. But the bottom line is what the instructor said after this experience is they got out of the aircraft, and in the corner of the screen, you can see on the window pane, this aircraft is not rated for spins. And that was the lesson right there. Here was an experienced pilot, and it was right there on the window. This aircraft is not rated for spins. And so that is a powerful lesson for all of us, that life is trying to give us some warning signs, and sometimes they are right in front of us. And how often are we choosing to completely ignore the warning signs that life is giving us? Sometimes until it's too late, or sometimes until we've had to get at such a low point in our life, we hit rock bottom before we finally start to turn things around. Does it have to be that way? Right? Life will teach us. I've learned, and I'm sure you've learned as well. Life will teach us the lesson that we may be too blind or too stubborn or unwilling to see. And it will teach us that, and we will continue to experience that pain until it gets to the point where we learn the lesson that life is trying to teach us. But how much better would it be if we would kind of wake up, and this is true for me as well, and all of us, and see the warning signs that life is trying to teach us, and to see it before it gets to that devastating level, to have an awareness of our life, of our circumstances, and of what our inner being is trying to teach us. When it's giving us that cue of fear, or that cue of pain, that cue of discomfort. So many times we're putting on the blinders, we're not choosing to look at that warning sign, we're numbing ourselves from it, we're distracting ourselves from it, we go to the fight, flight, freeze response. I did a training on that fear is a teacher. So if you haven't seen that, I really encourage you to go check that out. But instead of learning from that warning sign, we're just putting on the blinders, and we're not choosing to see it until it is too late. Now that pilot, he's back up flying. Do you think he's ever going to put that kind of aircraft into a spin again? No, because it was completely user error. And it would have been absolutely devastating if they had lost their lives over something that was right in front of them. So how does that stand out to you? What thoughts or inspirations does that bring to you right now in this moment? Just take a minute and listen to that inner being, that inner voice that's saying, come this way, come this way, come this way. You're not going down the right path. Pay attention to what I'm trying to teach you. Come this way. Where is that come this way? What is it trying to lead you to? Are you ignoring it? Are you ignoring those warning signs? Okay. So do a check-in with yourself. And this is something I'd like each of us to do, including myself, every day, so that we can be aware of those warning signs and not have catastrophic effects in our lives. As we become more and more aware, we'll lead ourselves to better and better places and be better and stronger. Just give me a minute. Sorry. Naomi just came in here. She wants some help with finding Lucas the spider, on YouTube. All right. Well, I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay. So we're on day 17 of our Better Me, Better Marriage Challenge. We're going through a mini course for life. And here we are with day number 17, which is I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. In my mind are thoughts that can hurt me or help me. I am constantly choosing the contents of my mind. Since no one else can make this choice for me, I can choose to let go of everything but my loving thoughts. I am determined today that all my thoughts be free from free from fear, guilt, or condemnation, whether of myself or others. By repeating, I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Beautiful. Now, something that I put together as a training this month, because I found a real need for this, was a 30-second practice to take that fear, take that guilt, take condemnation, take pain, take emotional distress, and allow it to teach us and allow it to move us forward, so that in the day-to-day, because we all face challenges throughout the day. Oh my goodness, I have a 12-year-old. It was a challenge this morning, not gonna lie. And that could have totally set me off. And in the past, him, beating up his brother before school today over, it was like a little skateboard flip thing. I don't even know. Fingerboard. That's it. Fingerboard. Anyway, could have totally thrown me off for the whole day. But by learning how to intentionally steer my thoughts and steer my emotions, I'm able to recover from the spin quickly, but even more than that, pay attention to the warning signs and pay attention to the signs that life's trying to give me. So I encourage you again, if you haven't gone through the Fear as a Teacher training, then I encourage you to do that. It's been absolutely transformative for me, as well as so many of the other people that have applied this, because there are challenging circumstances in life, right? I'm not alone. You're going through them. I'm going through them. It's what we choose to do about them, how we choose to learn from them, and how we can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. So let's declare that out there. The chat is super quiet. Maybe you guys are just, I don't know, riveted by my horrible, scary story that I shared, but I think it's a very powerful teacher. So let's put this into the chat and declare it out there, send it out there. This is our intention today, and this is what we will focus on today. We will allow this to become our teacher and a transformational experience for us today. So I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And if you have a thought today that hurts, if you have a thought that hurts, even if you feel like it's someone else's fault, right? Are you in the language of victimese? Or are you in the language of ownish? Choose to change that thought. Choose to find appreciation, gratitude, happiness, and joy for what is right now, because you will find it. It is always there. We always have the opportunity to choose our energy, to choose our emotions, and choose our thoughts every moment of every day. And it is a beautiful gift. Awesome, Kaylee, you are just rocking this. I have noticed. Thank you so much. And Shelly, boom. Hi, Thrive. So good job. And keep this up. Continue to do this challenge. We have one day left. I will check in with you all tomorrow. Let's have a fabulous day and choose to elect to have positive, healing, and loving thoughts this day.